Be honest with yourself for a second. How many times have you picked up your phone today without even realizing you were doing it? How many times did you open an app, scroll for a few minutes, close it, and then open the exact same app 10 seconds later? If that sounds familiar, you're not broken. You're not lazy. You're not lacking discipline. Something is happening to your brain right now in 2026 that would have seemed impossible just a decade ago. And most people have no idea how deep this actually goes. Here's what keeps me up at night. I've been studying the intersection of AI and human cognition for years now. And what I'm seeing in 2026 is unlike anything we've experienced before. The artificial intelligence systems surrounding us have become so sophisticated at capturing and holding human attention that our brains are literally rewiring themselves in response, not metaphorically, literally. And the scariest part? Most people feel the symptoms every single day, but can't connect them to the cause. That foggy feeling when you try to focus, that restlessness when you're doing something that used to feel engaging, that strange inability to sit with your own thoughts for more than a few seconds. There's something about what AI is doing to attention in 2026 that most people completely miss. And I'm going to break it down today so you can finally understand what's happening inside your own head. I'll also show you what neuroscientists and cognitive psychologists discovered about attention fragmentation and how AI systems have turned that research into the most powerful engagement engine ever created. And by the end of this video, you'll have practical strategies to protect and rebuild your attention span, even if you feel like yours is already damaged beyond repair. If you want to understand how AI and your mind are interacting right now in ways you can't see, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and stay until the end, because that's where I'll show you exactly what to do about this. Let's start with what's actually happening in 2026. Artificial intelligence has evolved beyond simple recommendation algorithms. The AI systems embedded in your devices, your apps, your feeds, they're no longer just predicting what you want to see. They're actively learning how to capture your attention at the neurological level. They're studying your eye movements, your scroll speed, your micro-hesitations, the exact moment your engagement drops, and what brings it back. Think of it like this. Imagine a chess grandmaster who has played millions of games against you specifically. They know your patterns. They know your weaknesses. They know exactly which moves will keep you engaged in the game longest. That's what AI has become for your attention. But here's where it gets interesting. Before AI became this sophisticated, media competed for your attention in relatively crude ways. Bright colors, loud sounds, shocking headlines. It was obvious. You could see the manipulation and choose to resist it. Remember what reading felt like before smartphones? You could sit with a book for hours. A single article could hold your focus from beginning to end. Boredom existed, but it was a normal boredom that eventually passed. Your mind had space to wander, to create, to process. Now compare that to the attention landscape of 2026. Every scroll delivers a precisely calculated dopamine hit. Every notification arrives at the moment AI predicts you're most susceptible to checking. Every piece of content is optimized not for quality or truth or value, but for engagement duration. The algorithms have learned that certain patterns of stimulus variation keep human attention locked longer. Short rewards, variable timing, endless novelty. Your brain was never designed for this, not even close. And this brings us to something even more important. Cognitive scientists have known for decades about something called attention residue. When you switch from one task to another, part of your attention stays stuck on the previous task. Your brain doesn't switch cleanly. It leaves a residue behind. Now here's what AI exploitation looks like in 2026. The average person switches between apps and content pieces dozens of times per hour. Each switch leaves attention residue, layer after layer after layer. By midday, your cognitive capacity is fragmented across countless half-finished mental processes. You feel exhausted, but can't explain why. You feel scattered, but don't understand the cause. AI systems have learned to maximize these switches, because every switch is an engagement. Every engagement is data. Every piece of data makes the next engagement more precisely targeted. Your attention span isn't weak because you lack willpower. It's fragmented because it's been systematically fragmented by systems designed to fragment it. Why does this matter so much right now in 2026? Because we've crossed an invisible threshold. The AI systems have become sophisticated enough to personalize attention capture at the individual level. Your feed isn't just different from everyone else's feed. The timing, pacing, and psychological triggers have been customized specifically to your neurological profile. This creates something researchers call an attention trap. The more the AI learns about your specific attention patterns, the harder it becomes to resist. Not because you're weak, because the system knows you better than you know yourself. But that's not even the most important part. Let me give you a concrete example of what this looks like in everyday life. Take something as simple as trying to read an article in 2026. You open it with genuine intention. You start reading. Within seconds, your brain begins anticipating the dopamine patterns it's been trained to expect. Short hits, immediate rewards, constant novelty. But this article is just words, just paragraphs. Your attention starts itching. Within 30 seconds, you feel the urge to check something else. Not because the article is boring, but because your brain has been conditioned to expect a different stimulation pattern. The AI-driven content you normally consume has literally trained your neurons to become restless with anything that doesn't match that pattern. Compare that to someone from 2010. Same article, same words, but their brain hasn't been exposed to 15 years of accelerating attention capture technology. They read with a kind of focus that feels almost superhuman by today's standards. It's not that they're smarter. Their attention simply hasn't been fragmented. Now here's the deeper insight that changes everything. Attention isn't just about focus. Attention is the foundation of memory, learning, creativity, and deep human connection. Every conversation you have, every skill you try to build, every relationship you try to deepen, all of it depends on your capacity to sustain attention. When AI fragments your attention for profit, it's not just stealing your time. It's degrading your ability to learn, to remember, to think deeply, to connect with other humans. The person with a fragmented attention span doesn't just struggle to focus on work. They struggle to be present with people they love. They struggle to develop expertise in anything. They struggle to experience the kind of deep satisfaction that only comes from sustained engagement with meaningful activities. If this is clicking for you, drop a like and tell me in the comments. Have you noticed your attention span changing over the past few years? Now here's the real insight that most people never connect. The same AI that fragments your attention can actually help you understand and rebuild it. This isn't about becoming anti-technology. It's about becoming conscious of the relationship between your brain and the system surrounding it. Cognitive scientists discovered that attention works like a muscle. It can be weakened through disuse and overstimulation, but it can also be strengthened through deliberate practice. The brain's neuroplasticity means the damage isn't permanent, but recovery requires understanding what you're recovering from. Remember when I said AI is doing something to your attention that most people miss? Here's what I meant. The problem isn't screens. The problem isn't even social media. The problem is the AI optimization layer that now sits on top of everything. That layer has one objective: maximize engagement. And engagement is maximized through attention fragmentation, short bursts, constant switching, variable rewards, endless novelty. Once you see this clearly, you can start making different choices. Here's where everything changes. The first step is creating what I call friction zones. AI systems are designed to eliminate friction between you and engagement. Everything is smooth, instant, effortless. One tap and you're scrolling. Adding deliberate friction breaks the automatic loop. Move your most addictive apps off your home screen. Add extra steps between impulse and action. Create physical distance between yourself and your devices during certain hours. This isn't about willpower. It's about environmental design. You're not trying to resist AI with discipline. You're restructuring your environment so the AI has fewer opportunities to capture you. Now let me show you what cognitive psychologists discovered about attention recovery. Sustained attention is rebuilt through something called attention training. Just like physical exercise, you can train your attention to sustain itself longer. The key is starting where you actually are, not where you think you should be. If you can only focus for 5 minutes before feeling the urge to switch, Start with 5-minute blocks. Read for 5 minutes. Then take a conscious break. Then return for another 5 minutes. Gradually extend those blocks over days and weeks. Your brain will adapt. The neural pathways that support sustained attention will strengthen. And this is the piece that makes all the difference. Use AI as a diagnostic tool rather than just an engagement machine. The same systems that have learned your attention patterns can reveal those patterns to you. Look at your screen time data with curiosity rather than judgment. Notice which apps capture you most effectively. Notice what times of day you're most vulnerable. Notice what emotional states precede your longest scrolling sessions. This data tells you about yourself. It shows you where your attention is weakest and when. Armed with that knowledge, you can build targeted defenses. You can anticipate the moments when AI capture is most likely and create alternative responses. Here's what this actually looks like in daily life. Imagine waking up tomorrow and reaching for your phone like you always do. But this time, you pause. You notice the impulse. You recognize it as the AI-trained pattern it is. And you choose a different first action. 5 minutes of stillness. 5 minutes with your own thoughts. Not because you're disciplined, because you understand what's happening and you've decided to respond differently. Over time, those 5 minutes become 10, then 20, then an hour. Your brain starts remembering what sustained attention feels like. The fog begins to lift. The restlessness settles. You start experiencing the kind of deep focus you thought was gone forever. That's not fantasy. That's neuroplasticity working in your favor instead of against you. Let's bring this full circle. You started this video maybe feeling like something was wrong with your attention, but not understanding why. That foggy, fragmented, constantly distracted feeling that seems impossible to escape. Now you see what's actually happening. AI systems in 2026 have become extraordinarily sophisticated at capturing and fragmenting human attention. Your brain has adapted to patterns that weren't designed for your well-being. But you also see the path forward. Friction zones to break automatic engagement. Attention training to rebuild your capacity for focus. And using AI as a mirror to understand your own patterns rather than just a trap to fall into. Here's what I want you to remember. Your attention is the most valuable thing you own. Everything you learn, create, experience, and love depends on your ability to direct and sustain it. AI companies know this. They've built entire industries around capturing it. But once you understand the game, you can choose how to play. Your attention span isn't broken. It's been trained in a direction that doesn't serve you. And anything that can be trained can be retrained. If this video changed how you understand what's happening to your attention, smash that like button. Comment and tell me, what's one thing that captures your attention more than you'd like it to? I read every comment and I'll respond. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit subscribe and tap that bell. We explore the intersection of AI and human psychology every week on this channel. If you're ready to go deeper into how artificial intelligence affects human cognition, watch other videos next where I break down the specific cognitive biases that AI exploits in 2026. Whether you're interested in brain science and attention, looking for practical strategies to protect your focus, or trying to understand how AI tools are designed to maximize engagement, that video builds directly on what we covered today. Understanding how AI shapes human attention isn't just interesting. It's essential for anyone who wants to stay mentally sovereign in an age of algorithmic influence. Click here to continue, and I'll see you in the next one.